Hey everybody, this is Brad Bruce, and I am here with
Jase Marsiglia.
and you're listening to the 5195 podcast.
Indeed you are. Indeed. And we're back with our good friend Mike Kruger from Video Shock.
Hello, good friends.
It has been a minute.
Hello, good friend.
It's been a while, man. It's good
has
to have
been.
you back.
Yes, happy to be back.
Yeah.
In this sweet, awesome new house.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
New
it's very-
studio. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool studio.
Yeah. What are we doing tonight?
Tonight, this was an idea from way back. I believe when Mike was here last time, he had suggested this. Where we're going to talk about our favorite made for television, specifically horror films or just films in general, or
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that was one that we were like, okay, that'll take some research, and
Yeah.
you know, I think we've narrowed down pretty decent lineup for today, right?
I have 5.
I have 5.
I have 5.
Now, let me ask you guys something, because I have some years on you. Did you grow up with made-for-TV movies?
Yes.
I pretty much, that's almost all I had. I was, when I was in elementary school growing up, well, into junior high, I was forbidden from seeing anything like The Exorcist or Halloween or The Omen.
Same.
So, for scary movies, I mean, if it was on network TV, that's what I had. That's all I got. Or, you know, like reruns of like old Universal Monsters or, you know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, Channel 7 on Sunday nights or, you know, Channel, 5, that's basically what I had to go off of. And a lot of times, you know, before the movie even started, I didn't really know what was coming on. It was just like, let's see what they got this week.
And if I remember correctly, the ads in TV Guide, they treated them like
Oh,
cinematic
yeah.
movie.
Very
they'd
much,
get
yeah.
a full page ad of
Yes.
like tonight at 7 or
Yeah.
8, you know.
And these ads would look like, I mean, they would look like one sheets.
Yes.
And they would have, you know, what do you call it? You know, like the headline or what are on the one sheets.
Like
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty much that was my first exposure to, I guess, cult films, you know, because these are absolutely cult films, you know?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, I was born in 76, so
Right.
it was right there on par, you know, to
Mhm.
watch all these movies, especially with having older brothers. They were watching that shit all the time. So
Yeah.
I watched it
Yeah.
kind of by proxy with no choice.
Yeah,
I had to
exactly.
be subjected to scary shit.
Right.
So, yeah. I on my list though, I was talking to him about it. I did have one that I felt was kind of questionable,
Yeah, I think we both did. We got a couple that
and we'll see how it plays in your mind, because
Yeah.
it was never theatrical, and it wasn't like a streaming thing, but it was for Showtime. It was made specifically for Showtime.
Okay, well, I have one that was made for TV, but ended up in the theater.
Oh wow, okay, all right, cool. So we're all over the place then.
Yeah.
This works.
Yeah.
Then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, then. Now the dreaded who goes first.
I think Mike should kick it off because this was.
I think
it's a
Mike should
franchise.
go first.
Okay, good.
Okay, well, now that we got our history with these things kind of out of the way, so my first one it's one that I've always heard of, that I've never seen, but I've always loved the name, and I remember the cover to the VHS and the DVD. Well, it had multiple covers because I think it went into public domain,
Okay.
but one cover in particular, the band Venom parodied it on their At War with Satan 12-inch.
Okay.
And I thought that was funny. And then what it is, it's 1973's Satan's School for Girls.
Yeah.
And it stars Kate Jackson and Cheryl Ladd from Charlie's Angels. And then a bunch of people I do not recognize and a director I've never heard of. So I didn't bother writing down that information.
Sure.
And essentially, in a nutshell, it's about this young girl. She investigates her sister commits suicide, quote unquote, under suspicious circumstances.
Yeah.
And she investigates it. She believes that it is linked to this private school she goes to. So she enrolls in the school, and it's an all-girls school. And of course, it's a cult in disguise.
Yeah.
Satan makes an appearance in the end. And it's one of those situations where I put this at the bottom of my list because I wanted to have one that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
But this one's at the bottom because it really wasn't that great.
No.
The name is fantastic.
Exactly. The name rules.
It
but
just screams exploitation.
Yeah.
Too.
yeah.
Sounds like more of a drive-in movie than a
Right,
made-for-television.
right. Well, even by the standards back then, it's just okay. The atmosphere is okay in it, but it has silly parts. Like there's the one of the scenes it's known for is is one of the male teachers. This, he discovers this cult exists within the school.
Yeah.
So the girls kill him, and the way they do it is he's falls into this pond, like out in the woods near the school, and the girls encircle the pond, and they have like these 10-foot poles, and they're all pushing him with them. And keep in mind, these girls are like 90 pounds, and this is like a full-grown man, and they're pushing him, and and he's swimming around, and like one will push him with a pole, then he'll swim around, then another will push him with a pole, and they like push him underwater and drown him. But you have to see the scene to appreciate the fact that apparently physics just don't exist in this world. But and it's got a pretty anticlimactic ending. But it's one of those things where I'll never watch it again, but I'm glad I did, because it's a check off.
Sure.
But once again, great name. And then,
Stellar name.
yeah, not a buy.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it on YouTube, and I not even worth paying for Amazon. Just go on YouTube.
Wow.
And you'll see it. Yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But once again, I remember never saw the trailer or the commercial when I was a kid, but I always remembered it'd be on the shelf at the video store.
Mhm.
And it like sparked my curiosity. So I'm glad that I saw it, but won't be revisiting it.
I think my beef with it is just by nature of it being a made-for-television movie, it's not as exploitive as it sounds.
Oh no, not at all. It's weak.
You hear Satan's School for Girls, and you're like, "This is going to be some
That's a
quality
crazy
trash."
name. That's a crazy name.
This is going to be some quality trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
Well, see, that's the thing. I would like to see the Grindhouse version of it.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
NC-17,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing. Well, and the thing is, too, is what we should mention is what makes the awesome made-for-TV horror movies awesome is they have to work in the confines of 1970s and 1980s television,
Yes.
which are super strict. And the great ones that pull it off, kudos to them because they pulled it off.
Mm-hmm.
They still managed to be scary and shocking.
Absolutely.
And that just goes to show that you don't need to have like extreme gore or
No.
anything to it.
correct.
Yeah.
If I could go next.
Yeah, go
Of
for
course.
That actually segues very nicely into mine. My first one is 1974's Born Innocent
it. Oh,
with
geez.
Linda Blair.
Oh, Linda Blair. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And you talk about the confines of television.
Right.
This girl's gang raped with a plunger by her, I don't want to call them classmates, because it's like a juvie detention kind of thing for girls. Because she was like a runaway. She came from an abusive family, and she wound up in this place, and it was like a prison movie.
Oh, wow,
And
yeah. Was
I-
very popular at the time. Yeah.
Yes, extremely. And it was, to me, it was one of those things where I remember watching it and being surprised that it went where it went for a TV movie, a network television movie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, that wouldn't fly today.
Well, does rape happen on screen?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, no nudity,
Of course.
but
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it was very obvious.
Yeah,
what they
you know what was going on.
Yeah, it was, and it was like, wow, I can't believe they got away with that. And then I started doing a little bit of research on it, and because of the vitriol that hit the station because of that, any subsequent airings, including for many years the VHS copy, had that scene edited out.
Really?
It
Wow,
was
okay.
completely
So it
taken.
made it in TV.
It made it in TV once, and then any subsequent airing, it was edited for television further.
And what about now? You still can't get it with that?
No, I heard that the DVD or Blu-ray that's out is uncut, and the copy that I saw, I watched it, I think, on Tubi.
With the scene in it?
It was in it.
Tubi's great.
Yeah.
If you don't mind commercials, Tubi rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tubi's got a fucking crazy selection.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that I found it, was impressive. When it got to that part, though, I was like, oh, we're going there.
Holy
you know.
shit.
And from
Which-
1974, I was like, we're just a few years shy of Jeannie is not allowed to show her belly button. You know
Right,
what I
yeah.
mean? So I was very surprised. As far as the actual movie's concerned, it does kind of get a little syrupy. It gets a little, you can be a good girl if you just try, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just one of those deals where it starts very women in prison
Yeah.
and then kind of saunters into after school special. So it comes out hard and then it kind of turns into fluff. So I didn't think it sustained its intensity or grit long enough to really recommend, but it is a notorious broadcast.
Well, we should probably mention the punk rock band Red Cross has an album called Born Innocent, named after the movie, and on that album is a song called Linda Blair, about Linda Blair.
No shit.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, the movie made its mark.
And you know, I've always seen the cover, but I've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
And how many years after Exorcist was that?
One.
Oh, wow.
It was just the following year.
Jeez.
Yep. So she was already established as
Right.
that girl, which is funny because she really did kind of wallow in that genre
Uh-huh.
theatrically, television. It was like,
Well, her life kind of took that turn when she started like dating Rick James and all
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
she really did have her prison stints,
Right.
so to speak.
Wow.
We still love you, Linda Blair.
Yeah. My first one is Dark Night of the Scarecrow.
Oh, that's classic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Larry
That's
Drake, right?
Larry Drake. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for me. It makes me sad more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It does.
just because of what he's friends with the little girl,
Yep.
and then she gets attacked by a dog, and then the people in the town that hate him,
Right.
they kill him.
Yeah.
You know, which is like it's fucking harsh as shit because he's like mentally challenged.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing.
And he's a big sweetheart.
right.
you
And,
know.
and it's like a, podunk white trash
Ex-
town. And-
exactly,
and that's-
yes.
And that's what happens in those towns.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, the scarecrow costume is fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool.
It's
Like a
iconic,
gas mask,
know.
right?
No, it's just the burlap with like this.
But it's two eyes and like almost like a scream hole.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
weird. Like it's
okay.
got these
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it almost there's like maybe 3 or 4 different holes in the mask.
It's ratty.
And he's a big guy anyway.
Yes.
You know, and the way they shoot it, it's actually pretty fucking menacing.
Who played him again? It was
Larry Drake.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was phenomenal. I love it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fun. I thought it was real. And you know what's crazy? I actually watched it recently, and it still holds up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I it's probably been, I mean, not recently, but probably about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I watched
Kidding.
it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing. I bought it from him.
Yeah. I do sell it.
Yeah.
And that's how I watched it.
Yeah.
I think mine's like a VCI Blu-ray.
Oh, really?
It comes with a lot of stuff. It's like an anniversary edition.
Oh, wow. I didn't know I got that kind of treatment.
It did, and then I want to say a direct-to-video sequel was made.
I didn't know that either.
There is a Dark Night of the Scarecrow 2.
Have you seen it?
No,
Oh, okay.
and I don't own it either. I never picked it up. But,
Okay.
but yeah, there's 2 of them now.
That was fun. I actually remember watching that one, you know, when it aired.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one that I've seen it a couple times, but I didn't see it until DVDs.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
what's funny, I never remember that being on TV.
Okay.
That raises another question, though. The made-for-television movies, unless it's like a Stephen King movie, there's not a lot of repeat
No.
Oh, yeah, no.
or syndication
No.
for them.
And
So-
even marketing for that matter.
Right. So it's almost like if you didn't watch it the night it aired, you may not have seen it in 40 years.
Even
or
back
plus.
then, a lot of them were one and done. And one that I'll talk about later on my list is I did see it on repeat because what Channel 7 would do, the Sunday night movie,
Yeah.
they would show it in the afternoon on a weekday a week later.
Okay.
And
No
and
kidding.
this particular movie I saw like at 3:00 on a after I got home from school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. Okay.
But for the most part, no. I mean, and that's the thing too is if they were going to rerun them, you don't know when.
Exactly.
Could be years, you know.
No, and that's
yeah.
the thing. I mean, I know that there's people out there that are a couple of the ones I'm going to mention. I know for sure when I've brought them up to other people that are like, I haven't seen it since I was a kid. And it's
Yeah.
because they don't put them back out there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, for a minute, you'd see stuff like that on the old Sci-Fi Channel or whatever. You know, you'd get one of these deals, but you really got to hunt for these movies a lot of the time.
Well, the funny thing is, the way I caught back up with a lot of these movies that I saw on TV as a kid was this as soon as video stores became a thing, because they just started dumping those things on videotape because hey, they're made, why not?
Yeah.
You know, and,
Exactly.
so I went out and actually had the list in my head is like what I would like to see again, and I went and I found all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Wow.
great.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, I'm glad that there's still, I don't want to say an audience for them because I do think it's pretty niche, but at the same time, there's enough distributors who will clean it up and put it back out there.
Yeah.
Kino Lorber is a good one for that.
They
Okay.
do quite a few.
Yeah. So, I mean, a couple of them I'm going to mention, I got the benefit to see because of a re-release of some sort.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Not an initial run.
Right. Dark Night of the Scarecrow was a little before my time. So
Yeah,
I got
thank
to see
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, you fucking ancient. But I got to see it because it was something that came out on Blu-ray and I went, whoa, what the fuck is this? This looks rad. And found out after seeing it that it was a made-for-TV movie. I didn't even know.
Okay.
So it's just good that people don't throw the canister out, so to speak.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Well, then some of them too, they did achieve cult status equal to a lot of legit studio movies too.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
there's one, it didn't make my list, but it's worth mentioning. The one with Sally Field where she had multiple personalities.
Sybil.
Was that made for TV?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was one that anyone who remembers Sybil remembers that it was a deeply disturbing movie.
Yeah.
Well,
you know.
my sister read the book.
Yeah.
When it came out when I was a kid.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never saw the movie, but I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people were pretty shook by Sybil.
Yeah.
Oh, I was shocked that there
Sybil.
was a woman with multiple personalities. Never heard of that before.
Yeah. Womp womp.
But no, that's one that I've never seen it. And
Yeah.
I know that Warner put it out on DVD at one point, and that's one that even my folks were like, "Oh, we watched it once, and I don't think I'd ever watch it again."
Jeez, that's crazy.
You know, and now after seeing Born Innocent and what they did with Linda Blair, I'm like, well, how hard did this movie go? And
Yeah.
I kind of want to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
I want to say it's based on a true story.
Yes.
Okay, it is.
Yep. It was supposed to be pretty harrowing from what I understood.
Am I up?
Yep.
You are up.
Okay, number 4 on my list. This is one that I'd seen once,
Okay.
initially when it was first aired back in 1977.
Mhm.
And one particular story, we'll get to it, scared the living piss out of me.
Mm.
And that was Dead of Night from 1977. It's an anthology, all 3 stories by Richard Matheson, which anything Richard Matheson
Wow.
writes is fucking gold. So,
Even Jaws 3.
yep. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey,
Posters
man,
on my wall.
Yeah. You know, hey, all the lots of good Twilight Zone episodes.
Oh, the guy was
Incredible
a master.
Shrinking Man. I believe he
Yes.
actually wrote Stir of Echoes.
He did.
Yeah.
Legend of Hell House.
Yeah. I mean, Richard Matheson's great.
He's awesome.
So, 3 stories. So I'll give I don't know. Are you guys familiar with this one?
No,
I've
I'm
not seen
not.
it.
I'm not.
Once again, videoshock.net. You know.
Oh, fucking A.
I want to
Okay.
say Dark Sky Film. Dark Sky put it out.
Nice.
Yeah. But so 3 stories. This first one is called Second Chance. It stars Ed Begley Jr. And now this one is very, very amazing stories. Like
Okay.
the TV show Amazing
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah.
And essentially what it's about is Ed Begley Jr. plays this college student and he buys this vintage car. It's like all beat up and everything. And the guy, it's from the 1920s. And the guy he's buying it from tells him, hey, you know, this young couple, they got in a car wreck in this car and they died back in the 20s. And he's just like, oh, you know, cool, whatever. He's like, well, I want to buy it. I want to restore it. So he purchases the car, he restores it, and he takes on a drive. And of course, being an Amazing Stories type story, he winds up going back in time to the 1920s. While he's out driving, he winds up in this little town. He's in the 1920s. And he gets out of his car and he's walking around looking. And he sees this guy like jump in his car and like start stealing his car. So he runs up and he like tries to stop him and he gets the guy to hesitate and then the guy takes off.
Yeah.
So being that all anthologies have an ironic twist,
Mm-hmm.
the twist is he basically walks home and he's back in his current time. We flash forward to the future and he meets this girl and marries her. And it turns out that when he was back in time, when he made that guy hesitate, that was the original owner and he saved their lives from being in the accident.
Oh,
And
sweet.
the owners got married, grew up, had a daughter, and the daughter ended up being his wife.
Wow.
So,
Awesome.
So it was very, very wholesome.
Matheson,
You know,
yeah.
Matheson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
And then,
But you're right. That is
Yeah.
total amazing story.
yeah. It's like you listen to the music, everything. It's just screams.
Little
you know,
syrupy.
Spielberg. Yeah. You know.
That's how I feel about Kick the Can and the Twilight
Oh,
Zone.
yeah.
absolutely.
It's not a bad story, but it's just that's wrong title.
Yes.
Right. And then so the second story, it was just okay, and it's called No Such Thing as a Vampire, and it stars Patrick McNee. I don't know if that name rings
Oh,
a
yeah.
bell, but
Waxwork.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
the Avengers.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Avengers. Yeah. So essentially, what this one's about is it takes place like in old timey, kind of like almost like Transylvania times. His wife is waking up every morning, and she's bleeding from the neck. So basically, he's just like, she's getting attacked by a vampire during the night, but how are we going to stop this? What's going on? But no one actually sees a vampire.
Okay.
He calls in this doctor friend of his to help her out. And he mentions that this butler they have in the past has fought and defeated vampires before, which just sounds funny. Yeah, oh yeah, my butlers kill vampires. So the twist on this one is is it turns out that there is no vampire, that his wife has been having an affair with his friend that he called over to help. So he drugs the friend. The friend goes unconscious. Patrick Magny puts him in a coffin, puts a little blood around his lips, calls the butler, found the vampire.
No shit.
Vampire stakes him, kills him.
Nice.
Yep, and that was a twist.
Just desserts.
Yes. And then the third one, which is the banger, and when I saw this as a kid, it scared the living piss out of me. It's just called Bobby. And then I couldn't find anything on this. Someone told me that this one was so popular, they actually used it for another anthology movie that was made for TV, but I couldn't seem to find it. But anyway, so stars Joan Hackett, and basically what it's about is it starts out and she's at her house, she's home alone, her husband's out, out on like a business trip or something, and she's really distraught, and the husband calls, and during this phone call with her husband, she illustrates the fact that their son Bobby, that he fell into, they live near the ocean, that he fell into the ocean, he drowned and died, and she's like racked with guilt.
Yeah.
Her husband mentions, I don't know why you keep going to like all these crazy occult classes. So she hangs up with the husband, and sure enough, she starts drawing like a pentacle on the ground and all this, and she's going to cast a spell to resurrect Bobby. And she does. And so she casts a spell. Nothing seems to happen. There's a knock on the door. She goes outside, and the kid's like soaking wet. She brings him inside. Oh, you must be hungry. Like, makes him a sandwich. I'm so happy you're back. I can't believe it. So essentially, in a nutshell, she was an abusive mother. Bobby killed himself.
Oh, God.
To get away from her. He didn't want to come back, so he sends something else in his stead.
Oh,
nice.
And so yeah, Bear, runs around the house, eventually kills her. But the last scene when he exposes his true form, the face, they kind of ruin it because they put the face on the cover of the DVD.
I fucking hate when they do
But when
that.
I saw that when I was a kid, it scared the living shit out of me. It was just like, but really good. Yeah, the third story is an absolute banger. But
one that I know is on your list, the same thing.
Yeah,
I've never heard
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So number 4 on the list, I own it. And the thing is I'll come back to the third story on pretty often.
Yeah.
It sounds like they really knew how to top it off.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah,
I'll
they
definitely look for
save
it.
best for last. So
Yeah.
but the second chance, heartwarming, kind of corny, but it's a cool story.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing is like Richard Matheson.
Yeah, no, the guy, he could do no wrong. And I don't know if it was Richard Matheson. I know he did a lot of Twilight Zone, but another kind of syrupy Twilight Zone episode that I liked was One for the Angels.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
You remember that with Murray Hamilton from Jaws? Stuff like that where you're like, not every week is going to be terrifying.
Oh no.
Sometimes it's one where the ending just goes, you know what, you got me. I like that. My next one, and we could debate. I mentioned Ghost Watch, the BBC broadcast.
Yeah, know of it.
It was I think we've talked about it on the show before, but it was basically just supposed to be a news broadcast on Halloween.
Yeah, that's totally made for TV. It was made for TV.
Yeah. So I mean, it was supposed to be just a puff piece for the news. Basically, what they were trying to do was the same haunting that The Conjuring 2 is based on, where
the Enfield Poltergeist.
The Enfield Poltergeist. There was kind of a riff on that, but you watch this movie, and you see so many things that would be utilized in like Paranormal Activity and all these other found footage movies today. This was done 30 years ago and pretty effectively.
Well, they did it like War of the Worlds, the radio broadcast, right? Where they led you to believe it was all real.
It was all real because it was already trusted anchors for that news station who weren't actors. They were just supposed to be there reporting, and they pulled off a hell of a prank. Even though some people were in the know and knew that this was going to be, a gag, there were people who genuinely bought it, and it was banned from the BBC.
Oh, wow, that I didn't know.
Yeah, forever. Like, I don't know if it's ever been aired again, but they literally would never air it. It was a one and done because of all the phone calls and hate mail that they got, because it just was so intense and it scared so many people, and it did cause one suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, someone, to be fair, I want to say that the gentleman who killed himself was slightly impaired.
Had problems anyways, yeah.
Yeah, he had some problems already, but he took it so real and was so frightened that he took his own life.
Jeez.
Well, I just remember back in the early days of the conventions, that movie, it was heavily bootlegged.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
And I imagine anyone in Britain, for sure, if they watched it, it was because of a bootleg, because they just banned it from the air forever.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's kind of made a resurgence because of Blu-ray. You know, I've got a pretty decent gift set at home from, I think, 101 Films.
They did a gift set?
Yeah, because it comes with like a book and all
To
kinds of
celebrate
shit.
the death of the guy that killed himself.
Suicide awareness.
It's like a big 30th anniversary commemorative type of thing. So I wonder now, with found footage being so prevalent and people getting the gag, whether or not it's aired since.
Yeah.
You know, but it seems to have
Hey,
to have gotten a little resurgence lately.
if they re-aired Threads, they're going to re-air that.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But yeah, no, that was mine. It was just a good ghost story that they managed to work in, as like you said, War of the Worlds. This was supposed to be a live broadcast as it's happening, and just demonic activity and possession and scratches and claw marks on people that weren't there. It's a lot of really good camera trickery that we still utilize today. And oversaturated found footage market.
There was an episode of Tales from the Crypt that kind of did a send up of that, where it was like, it was the news team, because was Morton Downey Jr. in that
Morton
episode?
Downey Jr.
The news team was doing the send up of, we're doing a fake haunting, that ended up being real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
good
remember
episode. Yeah.
And he couldn't get out because the producers were like, no,
Yeah,
the
ratings.
ratings are through the roof.
And he was a dick and everyone hated him. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So like, no. You got to stay in there, bud.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a great episode.
Yeah.
Good pull.
My turn?
Yeah.
I've only seen this one time.
Mm-hmm.
I do have it, and it's weird that I own it and I've never watched it again, but I did watch it back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's because I was so young when it came out that it was just the imagery that scared me.
Sure.
Salem's Lot.
Oh, yeah.
course.
Yeah, classic.
You know, yeah, and it's like I do want to revisit it.
It's probably still my favorite.
Guess what, Brad?
Stephen King.
Holds up.
Does it really?
Yeah, because when
Holds
they
up beautifully.
when they announced that remake for HBO Max, which I still haven't watched
Me
because it
neither.
got really bad reviews, I'm like, I need to go back and watch Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
And it still really holds up. The thing is, that's one of the scariest looking vampires.
Absolutely.
Without
and
question.
that's what scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yep.
What was this? Was it Barlow? Or-
Yeah. Kurt Barlow.
Barlow or
Yeah.
Marlowe? Yeah.
Barlow. It was
Yeah.
Kurt Barlow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really, really good.
Because I love the small town.
Yeah.
I love that whole setup. I do want to watch it again.
And it's one of the few books I've read by King where I was like, this is 10 times more terrifying than the movie.
Okay.
And the movie shook me.
A lot
Yeah.
of people say it's his best book.
It really is
Yeah.
fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah. Because the infection, if you will, of vampirism goes so deep that some of the details, like one chapter will just be like a day in Salem with the sun up. There are people propped up in their closets, or they've crawled under their floorboards to escape the sun.
Mm-hmm.
One chapter, they even talk about, I think, a mother eating her infant.
Jesus.
You know, because she's a vampire. It gets really graphic.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up. But like, to your point, I've yet to see a vampire movie where the eyes didn't freak me out.
Terrifying.
as
Well,
bad
the
as-
famous scene with the kid in the window.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Yeah.
pure
Yeah.
nightmare fuel. The kid was easily one of the most terrifying things about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Jeffrey Lewis. He was like the gravedigger.
Yes.
I always think of the scene with him in the rocking chair in the corner.
Oh
of the
yeah,
room.
his makeup was really, really good. The,
So
the makeup,
fucking good.
makeup's awesome. in
And
that.
that's what was scary about it for me.
It
What I
was.
remember
Yeah.
seeing the makeup, because it wasn't over the top.
No.
It was very subtle, and that's what was fucking terrifying.
But they looked very predatory, and like when you catch an animal in the savannah in night vision.
Yes.
Just the way the eyes would gleam.
Yeah.
And I want to say that may have been the first vampire story set in modern times too.
Really?
That I know of.
That's interesting, because you're right. That would be off the heels of like Hammer and stuff.
I think the only exception would be, I mean, like, because I'm sure there were EC comic stories that did, but as far as on film,
on film.
yeah, it may be.
Oh
you know,
yeah. I think Vault of Horror. They did one of the Blood Bank stories from the
Right.
comics.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was Salem's Lot was 79,
Was 79.
and this was like an Amicus
Oh,
picture. So maybe.
okay.
yeah.
But you're right.
Potentially.
Yeah. But you're right. This is like off the heels of Gothic romanticism, vampire
Yeah.
stuff.
Now-
you know.
Have you guys seen? And if you haven't, I highly recommend it. Have you seen Midnight Mass?
Yes.
Mike
No.
Flanagan's.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, he's like huge Salem's Lot influence.
Okay.
It rules, incredible.
Wow. So that's a good double feature then, huh?
I would say
Well, Midnight Mass is it's a mini series.
Oh yeah. So
But,
was this?
Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
How many?
This might be what, 8 episodes?
Oh,
8 episodes.
because this was 2. I remember that.
Yeah.
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 Now, if you If you're not familiar with Mike Flanagan, what you have to do with his stuff, though, you have to hang in there because what he does is he uses the first couple episodes just building characters. So when he gets to the end, you're really invested in these characters.
Extremely.
And he's a big dialogue guy.
Okay.
But
I like
when-
that.
Oh, his
But-
writing's beautiful.
But when he pays off, he pays off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's why The Exorcist couldn't be in better hands right now.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And The Dark Tower.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
He's-
really?
He also did Stephen King's Gerald's Game.
That was fantastic.
He did Doctor Sleep. He connects with King's work, literary work, in a
Yeah.
way that translates wonderfully on screen.
Wow.
And Midnight Mass, yeah, it feels very much like a modern day Salem's Lot.
It's obviously influenced by
There's
that,
a
but-
lot of Jonestown
Mhm.
Really?
vibes. Yes, you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
But it's one of those deals where it's a deeply unnerving movie.
That's very sad.
And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's fucking phenomenal.
Holy shit.
Basically, it's about religion. It's about faith.
Okay.
You know,
Sort of a test.
yeah. It's but man, it's really good though. Really good.
He takes it to task.
Yeah, Salem's Lot's great.
Yeah.
I have HBO Max. I'll probably just suck it up and watch that remake.
I will too
The
eventually.
trailer looked cool, but
What
man,
is it that's like supposedly not good that you've heard?
well, I haven't heard anything in respect to how it is compared to the book or compared to the original. Literally, all I've heard is it was so bad I couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
You know, that was it,
Wow.
you
Waste
know.
of time, too long,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
But you got to take it with a grain of salt because I guarantee today's audience would probably bail on the 70s one
Oh, for sure.
because of the buildup.
Yeah.
I think it was phenomenal. And there was one in the early 2000s too with Rob Lowe.
And then there's Return to Salem's Lot, which I know nothing about.
Larry Cohen. I've never seen it,
Yeah, never seen it.
but it's a Larry Cohen movie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That one might have went right to video. I don't know if it went
Yeah,
to
I think
theater.
it's like an archive thing now.
Yeah, it's Warner Brothers Archive.
Is that the one though? Scream Factory has it too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I need to pick it up.
Shocked.
Is that the one you referenced earlier that went to theaters? Because I know
No.
because they did release a Salem's Lot in theaters. They trimmed it down to like a 90-minute movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not this one, though.
No, the 70s one.
The
That's what I'm
79?
talking about.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And they even
trimmed it and put it in the theater.
they trimmed it and put it in the theater.
Probably after Stephen King blew up, which makes sense.
Yep. And it even got like an MPAA rating of PG.
Get the fuck out of
you know,
here. Really?
Mhm.
Well, next time you do my list.
Yeah. Okay, here's the one I cheated on. And this is the one that you just kind of mentioned.
Sure.
Nightmares from 1988. These stories were rumored to be originally written and filmed for the anthology series Dark Room from 1981, which I've never heard of, but were deemed too intense by Universal and thus culled into an anthology film for theatrical release. However, executive producer Andrew Mersch later debunked those rumors, so who knows?
Mm.
But actually clarified the film actually began life as a pilot for an unnamed anthology series for NBC before becoming a theatrical feature.
Wow.
But either way, I knew it as a theater movie, but it was made for TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then now, you guys seen it?
No.
It's been a
I
long
You ever
haven't.
seen Nightmares?
I've never seen
Yeah.
it.
Insane. Okay, so 1988, and we got 4 stories. Now, this is one of the movies that Brad and I were talking before we started taping that I was like, I didn't even have to watch it this time because I got this movie memorized.
No
But,
shit. Yeah, I think I've probably seen
yeah.
it once.
But 4 stories, and quick recap. The first one is called Terror in Topanga, and it's about a suburban family, and the wife is telling the husband is like, I'm out of cigarettes, and he's just like, well, do without. Those things are going to kill you. It's like, no, I'm going to go get my cigarettes. And of course, on the TV while they're arguing, they're talking about the escaped lunatic from the asylum who's out there, in Topanga Canyon killing people. So she's just like, screw it. She sneaks off and she goes to get her cigarettes. So she goes to a mini mart, and long story short, there's a creepy looking guy at the mini mart. No one else there but the two of them. And she's like all like freaked out by him. She she fills her car with gas, and the guy's watching her. And she gets in the car and she's getting ready to take off. And the guy comes up and he smashes out the window and throws open the door and grabs her and pulls her out. And she's like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. Guy busts out a gun and shoots the killer coming out of the backseat of her car.
Yeah.
And the killer being played by Lee Ving, the singer of Fear. And
Oh man.
and
Mr. Body and Clue.
yes, exactly. Yeah. And that was the first story. And then the second story being called The Benediction with Lance Hendrickson, which is essentially, it's dual. What it is, it's this priest. Lance Hendrickson plays this priest who loses his faith. And he leaves the church. The church looks like it's somewhere in like a little Mexican village or something.
Mhm.
But he gets in his car and he's taken off, and he's being tailed by this gigantic all black ominous 4x4, and is trying to run him off the road and kill him. It's full on duel.
I have seen this.
Yes, and you see.
There's a rattlesnake, right?
Yes.
Yes,
exactly,
okay, I have seen this.
And
I have seen this movie.
When it shows the inside of the cab of the truck, there's no one driving it, but there's an upside down cross hanging from the
Yeah,
movie.
I have seen this movie because the cover is
Yes.
the hands.
The hands
Yes,
and the eyes.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then essentially the conclusion is he escapes, but his faith is restored.
Yeah.
So
I'll be damned.
yes. And then the third story, which is the one this movie's really famous for, is called The Bishop of Battle. Stars Emilio Estevez, and essentially he's like the shit at playing video games. He goes to the arcade and he hustles all the kids, wins money off them and everything. So they hear about this new video game called The Bishop of Battle, and I believe it's either the 13th or the 15th level no one has ever achieved. So Emilio Estevez is like, I can do it. I'm the man when it comes to video games. So in a nutshell, he sneaks out of his house one night, goes down to the arcade and breaks in and fires up the Bishop of Battle, and he plays it, and he gets to this forbidden level. The video game essentially comes alive, and really bad 1980s special effects and spaceships and lasers come out of it, and they chase him around, and it turns out the joystick for the machine is actually a laser gun, and he's fighting it, and he's just like, I beat you, I beat the Bishop of Battle. Of course, in the end, the actual Bishop of Battle, which is this giant floating head that says, I am the Bishop of Battle, welcome, let's begin. It comes out of the machine, and it fucking kills him. But what I really love about this episode is Fear is actually on the soundtrack. They have 2 songs in it. They have Let's Have a War and I Don't Care About You. But there's another song, and there's an old band that I love called Negative Trend, and they had a song called Mercenary. Now, Negative Trend recorded Mercenary, and then when Negative Trend broke up, the singer Rick recorded Mercenary again. Well, in Nightmares, there's another version of it that Rick recorded that's the best version. And it's really cool, but unfortunately, there's no soundtrack to the film.
And it was made specifically for the film?
Yes, it was recorded specifically, because this third version was made specifically for this movie. And it's awesome. It's really, really good, but unfortunately, there's no soundtrack. And then the final story, which in this case, they saved the weakest one for last. And it's the longest. It's called Night of the Rat. And just in a nutshell, it's almost forgettable. Suburban family, there's sounds in the attic at night, and they're finding rat shit around. Oh my God, we have rats. Let's call an exterminator. There's a gigantic 5-foot rat that lives in the house. They do battle with it. Yeah. It's forgettable. It's just like they could remove this one from the anthology and it would be much, much better.
That's wild. Yeah, the only one I remembered was the Estevez one.
That is what made it famous.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and available on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. Hopefully the 4K comes out pretty soon.
Yeah. The way they've been turning them around, it's got to be on the list.
Right.
I think I only have it on DVD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who put it out? Do you remember?
Scream Factory.
On DVD?
Oh, no, Anchor Bay, the DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'll have to revisit that one because I remember liking it, but I just saw it once. Mm-hmm. So it'd be a good one to pop back in.
Yeah, the first 3 stories are great. And, Lance Henriksen,
Of course.
Yeah.
My next one is Kolchak.
Oh,
great. Yeah, there you go.
The Night Stalker.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yep.
The first one in particular, because it was 2 TV movies and then they made the series.
Right.
The second one was The Night Strangler,
Right.
which I believe was like Jack the Ripper
Yeah.
kind of thing. But the first one, The Night Stalker,
That was the vampire.
the vampire,
vampire
one,
yeah.
and that was a great vampire story.
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely influenced the X-Files.
110%.
Yeah.
Carl Kolchak, just one of the great sardonic
So
characters.
Darren McGavin. Yeah,
You know,
great.
So great.
Darren
character,
McGavin was fucking amazing. Super funny, super ironic. Definitely in that X-Files fashion. It doesn't matter how much evidence he
Nobody
collects.
believes him, yeah.
Nobody believes him, and he's usually fired, and all of his work has been destroyed just to keep things off the books.
Yeah.
I remember one of the pathologists in the movie was he was on MASH. He was the Weasley doctor.
The guy played Frank.
Frank.
Yeah,
Frank
I don't remember
Burns.
his real name. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't either. But he was one of the few doctors on there that was like, I don't believe in vampires, but these bodies have been drained. And of course, the sheriff and the mayor are like, shut the fuck up. We don't want everyone freaking out. But basically, they make a deal with Carl Kolchak. If you can prove that this is a vampire and we can apprehend this person, you get your story. In typical government fashion, he basically vanquishes the vampire with a stake through the heart, and the government goes, we now want you out of town.
Right.
And he goes, what the fuck? He goes,
You know
"Dude,
too much.
yeah, you know too much. And we've already packed your bags for you. And if you stay, we have you for murder because you staked a man through the heart. And it's fucking sucks. It's exciting. There's a lot of cool vampire violence. There isn't a cop in, I think it took place in, was it Vegas?
Yeah.
There wasn't a cop in Vegas that didn't get picked up and thrown 30 feet in the air because of this guy was so strong. But yeah, just Darren McGavin doing his thing.
It's such a great character.
It is. Yeah. And I heard recently, that they were working on a comic book. So Kolchak might return in some fashion as a comic book series.
Wow. I remember the TV show, the episode of the werewolf was really cool too. I really liked that.
On a cruise liner, right?
Yeah.
I remember that.
But the show was great. There was at the last, I think last year's Son of Monster Palooza, there was a guy that cosplayed him.
I remember him. I have pictures of him.
I got him on.
Great.
We got him.
Solid.
Yeah. It was so funny. Yeah, just the fact, and he was a younger cat.
Yeah,
I remember right. So
which is cool.
I was like, awesome, dude. That
And
means your dad brought you up right.
Yep.
And once again, really influential. And now that we're talking about it, I'm wondering, one of my favorite Stephen King stories, actually a made-for-TV movie that was on the list, but it's The Night Flyer. Is about a journalist pursuing a vampire, and I'm wondering, well, surely that's where Stephen King was influenced by that. Yeah,
had to be. I think that one was like a made for HBO.
Yeah, it was. Now that one is. Yeah, it was definitely pay TV. That one was crazy violent, but man, I loved it. And
vampire looked rad.
Yeah, and with the exception of adding a character, it was really, really faithful to the story.
No shit.
Yeah.
Now was Night Flyer one of the?
It was in Nightmares and
Night
Dreamscapes, I believe.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a short story.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved Carl Kolchak.
Where did that start? Do you
What's
know
that?
the origins of Kolchak? Was it a book? Was it just something just the studio created?
I think it was created by the studio.
That's a really good question. I think he was. I don't think
To the internet.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me see. Night Stalker, 1974. Oh, that's the series. Forgot the series was actually named The Night Stalker.
Yes.
This is showing. No. Teleplay by Richard fucking Matheson.
There you go. That makes sense.
But no, it doesn't say anything about like an author or anything.
Wow.
So
Okay. So it's just something they created.
The Night Stalker series, specifically Kolchak the Night Stalker, originated from a TV movie titled The Night Stalker, which in turn was based on an unpublished novel by Jeff Rice called The Kolchak Papers.
No shit.
Wow.
Interesting.
Can you imagine your work didn't get picked up
Yeah.
for publishing, but it got a movie and a series?
Crazy.
That's wild.
Fucking Hollywood, man.
I'm telling you, how
It's
fucking
so
weird.
bizarre.
Yeah.
You just never know. Well, mine might annoy because it's not from the 80s,
Okay.
and it is for what did we say? It's like a pay
Showtime.
service, Showtime,
Oh, heck yeah. Okay.
and it was body bags.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Like I fucking love that one.
It's a great
so
movie.
much.
Yeah.
And it's like because I know John directed the first two,
I think so.
and
Yes.
then Toby directed
Right.
the last. But the first one is my favorite one at the gas station.
Yes.
With I like the little nod of like she works at a gas station and then the town next to her is Haddonfield.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They throw that in there. But yeah, I just love that because it's like that, the homicidal maniacs on the loose.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's dealing with all these crazy people at the gas station, then she gets locked out, and then hey, guess who she runs into?
Yeah.
Like I love that kind of shit.
And that was with Carradine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you had said something I didn't know about body bags.
What? Oh, yeah. Okay.
I had no idea. He fucking blew my mind.
You talking about
The show.
what it was supposed to
Oh,
be?
yeah. Because Showtime wanted their own Tales from the Crypt. I totally knew that.
And
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the 90-minute pilot.
It was a launching pad.
It was a launching pad. And they basically said, we're taking production to Canada. John Carpenter said, no fucking way. I'm not moving to Canada.
I got video games to play.
Yeah. And basically they were like, okay, well then the show's dead. And John went, fine by me.
Who cares? Who cares?
So, yeah.
That's how he works.
That's why I love John.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's not going to compromise
He's fucking awesome.
for nobody.
Now, didn't it have the story about the wishes? And she wished her husband was alive, but he was like filled with formaldehyde.
No, that's Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
That's the Amicus movie.
Okay, got it.
This one there was the one with Stacy Keach where he wanted hair.
Hair.
That's
the one
I
directed
remember
by
the hair
John
one.
Carpenter.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
the hair one. Yeah.
And then the third one was Mark Hamill.
Yes.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the was it a serial killer's eye or something? Or but I forget the.
That's a night gallery.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
No, it is. Yeah, it was a killer.
Yeah, I remember the
killer's eye.
hair story.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that was Toby's.
Yeah, because it was a baseball player.
Yes. Yep. He took a fly ball to the
Yes.
face or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And that was a good creepy performance by Mark.
And also, I loved Carpenter's character
Oh,
as the
his
coroner.
Crypt Keeper
Oh, yeah.
character.
Fucking
Yeah.
awesome. Because
Yeah.
it's classic John. It was almost like no one wrote that. That was just what he was doing.
That's just him
because he's fucking crazy.
popping off.
Yeah. And I loved it. But I love that shit so much.
The the chick on the gurney with the big tits that can't get pushed into the. He's just like, boy, implants. What can you do?
Yeah, I need to revisit that one because I remember the hair story and then I remember his character. But yeah, that's I distinctly remember on was it last podcast on the left? But on one of them they spoke about that it was intended to be Showtime's Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. I had no idea that was
Because it was 93 and Tales was on its way out.
Right.
Yeah, by 90.
Yeah, that's right.
93,
early
Tales
80s.
was in its 5th or 6th season.
Yeah, that's right.
And was kind of transitioning to like movies.
Okay.
The last season went to network TV.
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because season 7 is not good.
It's just
was-
watered down.
Yeah.
It was-
Well, not just that, but it's 100% British.
Yeah.
They moved the production to the UK. It's all British cast, it's all British directors, and it's a very different tone from the 6 seasons until the final episode, which is like animated. It
okay.
was supposed to be the 3 pigs.
Oh, that's right.
And I had like Bobcat Goldthwait.
I like that
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
that's the only one that wasn't,
Wonder why?
Tea and
Wonder why
there had to, have,
HBO would get rid of that.
had to be a tax credit somewhere.
That's such a fucking.
It was a hit.
staple. Yeah.
It was a massive hit. But
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
That entire last season, 100% British, and it feels weird.
Yeah.
Still no Blu-ray, still no 4K.
I know.
I know.
Not on
That's
HBO
fucking
Max.
nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
That's fucking
Trust me,
nuts.
I love all 7 years that I have on DVD, but it is poor quality.
yeah, it absolutely is.
Really
It absolutely
bad.
is. Yeah.
So it's like I would love to see these.
I wonder
things.
what the problem is with that. I wonder. Probably just because they don't see any money in it. They don't
Well,
care.
Warner. That should say more than enough. It's owned by Warner, so
Oh my god, we're dealing with Warner Brothers shit right now.
yep, yeah.
God.
So it's I can't help but assume they just don't care.
Yeah. I was always thinking that because there is music in it, maybe it has something to do with that. Or the fact that these huge name actors, they didn't want to
Massive
pay them out or, because everybody was in it,
Yeah.
But I just can't believe that it's not even on Max, but on the same token,
That's what blows my mind because that was the tentpole network.
yeah, because I don't even know. Do you guys remember Dream On?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Because I don't even think Dream On's on
Nope,
there either.
it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
It's
And these
not.
are the shows that built HBO.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Dream On was great.
Fucking
Larry
hilarious.
Sanders is. But
Yeah.
Dream
Is it on there?
Yeah. Is it? I believe so.
It
I
is.
believe so. Yeah.
Because there was Men Behaving Badly, which
Yeah.
was funny, but there's a lot of original HBO stuff that's just not there.
No. Is First and 10 on there? Do you remember that?
Was that
The football.
Yeah, was that? Oh no, I was thinking of Arliss.
Oh, okay, no, this was before that.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like it was a fun show.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I said, I'm not a football fan, but that was,
for some reason HBO isn't parading out the shows that.
and that's weird, yeah, because this is what made them.
Yeah. Tales from the Crypt, especially. I didn't know anyone that didn't watch Tales from the Crypt.
Absolutely,
That's great.
when it was
absolutely,
So yeah, that one blows my mind.
yeah. So yeah, that was mine. Body bags.
Nope. Love
Like I
that.
said, I love the gas station is the first one. That's the
Honestly,
funnest one for
that's
me.
my
I think.
favorite story.
Yeah, I think that was the
Gotta
funnest
watch
one.
it again. I just remember the hair and I remember the wraparound. That was
Yeah,
Yeah.
The wraparound's so great.
Yeah.
No,
I
it-
can see it now. Now that you say it, I'm like, holy shit, they were really developing a character. The set, like, I loved everything about it. Production time was fucking awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold.
No,
showing
yeah,
up at random.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. It was just good. It
was
was good
good.
stuff.
Moving along. Okay, so here's one that nobody's ever seen, and that would be 1975's Trilogy of Terror, which is we've all seen it.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's the one that everyone in the audience is like, when are they gonna get to
Yeah,
Trilogy of
yeah, yeah.
Terror?
Karen Black, lover,
Yeah.
and now that I'm the age I am, Karen Black does it for me.
You know what?
And,
And the thing is, I think the first story in
Oh, yeah.
particular.
Yeah, yeah,
she
and,
is hot as fuck.
And once again, Richard Matheson.
Yep.
Just
Killing it with the stories.
Yep. Yeah, she is a star of each story. And then we've seen it. I'll do the quick rundowns. First story is called Julie. What's about is the local college rapist, of course named Chad.
Yeah. Wow.
So he's got this hot teacher, Julie, played by Karen Black. Well, he sees her out one night. He drugs her drink. She's knocked out. He takes these provocative pictures of her and basically, through blackmail, turns her into his sex slave.
Yeah.
It's essentially.
Which again, network television.
Yes, exactly. They go as far as they can.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's blackmailing her. He's doing these horrible things. And of course, there is a twist where the setup is she is actually this horribly evil woman. And on IMDb, I don't get this from watching it, but on IMDb, it says she has this power to make men like,
I didn't get that.
yeah, like it's just like automatically want her, you know. But I mean, I think
Like a
just
succubus?
I think just her
Yeah.
being hot would cause that.
Yeah.
But,
I think she.
Yep.
I just took it as she worked with what God
Right.
gave her,
Yeah.
and basically used herself as like a honey trap.
But yeah,
Like most women.
yeah. That's a whole nother show. But the twist being is she actually is, is a sadist, and she's actually setting him up. She poisons him, and
I had a scrapbook of her
Yep.
previous exploits, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, yeah. Fill in my blanks for me. And story 2, Millicent and Teresa, Karen Black playing twin sisters. One's good, one's bad. Basically, the old switcheroo.
Yep.
And horrible things persist.
Yeah.
Moving along to the one we really want to talk about.
The one that everybody knows for
The
sure.
third one being Amelia. Once again, Karen Black. She's at the thrift store, finds this funky looking doll with a necklace on it, holding a spear, buys it, takes it home, has a phone call with her mom, kind of mean to her,
Mhm.
and takes off the necklace. Isn't there instructions saying don't take off the necklace?
can't take it off.
Yeah. Goes ahead, takes off anyways. It's a Zuni fetish doll.
Yep.
And it comes to life and chases around the apartment, screaming and making a racket.
It's the craziest,
It's
most aggressive
yeah.
little bastard.
And it's a total spaz. But the thing is, the puppet work and everything and the limitations they have to work with, they do a great job with it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's really exciting.
They do a great job of making him look as fast and angry and aggressive as possible. He's basically like a piranha with legs. He's just like
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's yeah. And the whole thing, she like locks him in a suitcase. He's got his knife with him. He cuts it through the suitcase. She throws him in the oven. He gets out of the oven. The ending's great. Ends with he catches her, and what he does is the evil spirit is transferred from the doll to her. She walks to the telephone, calls her mom. Hey, mom, come on over.
Yep.
And then she crouches down, starts striking the floor with a knife like a savage. And then she smiles, and she's got that crazy grill, just a full-on set of sharp teeth, and her face goes all crazy, and it's really terrifying.
It's
It
the
really
final
holds
shot
up.
of the movie.
Yep, and it holds up.
Scares the fuck out of you. But again, like we mentioned earlier, they put it on all the fucking posters, covers, VHS.
Just giving it away.
Damn it! What a fucking great scare it is.
Yeah, and it's really scary. Look, I just brought up the image, and it's still really scary.
It's one of the scariest final shots of a movie I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is the penultimate made-for-TV horror movie. It's
I think
great,
so.
you know?
It probably kicked the whole genre into the air a little bit because it was a very successful movie and probably really kind of popularized it.
Right.
You know, and I think maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong or if you disagree, but I think that's why we got more of a horror output. Because,
Probably.
Because they were like,
I could see that.
ratings went through the roof with this horror movie. What else do we got out there? You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, Stephen King's miniseries became almost an annual thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I actually saw this the night of premiere.
Oh, really?
Oh,
No
yeah.
kidding.
That's cool.
I vividly remember, and I remember I would dip in and out in the first two stories, just go back to my room and do stuff because my older brothers and sisters were watching it.
Yeah.
And then when I came back into the third story, is right away like caught my attention. It's like that doll's freaky looking.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, it scared the living piss out of me. It's my number 2, and of course, I'll get to my number 1 on the next turn, but it is a great made-for-TV horror, but not the best one. So we'll get to that.
But that one, I think that was also the other great made-for-TV guy, Dan Curtis.
Yes,
And
right there. Yep, Dan Curtis.
He's the one who did Kolchak.
Yes.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, there was a lot of, boy, they had a pretty prevalent decade.
Yeah.
You know, with these writers and some really great quality stuff out there. I like it a lot. My number 2, and like your trilogy of terror, there isn't a person out there who hasn't been screaming at us to say it. Duel.
Mm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Spielberg's first movie, probably the ultimate road rage movie. I introduced it to my kids just maybe a month or two ago. And even they were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because it's relentless. Basically, the plot to this one, is it Dennis Weaver?
Yes.
He's like a salesman, and he's kind of a wet rag, he whines a lot. He, I believe, passes, and that's it. All he did was pass a diesel truck. And for that offense, this truck decides, I'm going to wreak havoc on this man. And he is running him up and down. Looks like maybe either, is it California desert or is he in Nevada, something like that? Basically, it's very sparse.
Either one works.
I was going to say
like
nobody is here to save him.
It looks kind of like the 10 on the way to Arizona.
Yeah.
It's this wasteland. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's just him and this truck, and this truck is relentlessly following him. Doesn't matter where he stops. And of course, there's tense moments along the way. There's like a stalled bus near an overpass, and he's like, could you help us, buddy? And he's trying to get the kids out of the road because this truck is coming.
Yeah.
My favorite part being the snake farm. Do you remember that?
That I don't remember.
So he stops to call the police, and it's a gas station / snake farm.
That's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in the phone booth calling the cops, and this is in the same shot. The truck comes roaring into the shot, and he leaps out of this phone booth with, I swear, 2 feet before it just completely demolishes the phone booth. So props to Weaver, because it's not a stuntman. It's like one static shot. You could tell they didn't edit, a stunt guy into the scene to take the hit. And when you see this fucking truck rolling, it's insane. I mean, it's raging.
Yeah.
The closest I could come to it is maybe Joyride in 2001.
Oh, wow.
I call Duel on crack.
Yeah.
Because it's just 10 times crazier,
Well, what's scary about it, because I didn't see it when it first came on TV. I probably saw it around like 82, 83. I don't even think I even heard of it until then. But what's scary about it is it could 100% happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially nowadays.
Just the randomness of road rage,
Yeah, I have not seen it in years, but correct me if I'm wrong. One thing I remember about it, at the end, when the truck goes over the cliff, doesn't it growl or scream?
They said he took the Tyrannosaurus roar from the Lost World from like the 30s or 40s.
Okay.
And it's the same noise used in Jaws.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah,
when the shark is sinking at the end, But yeah,
I thought that was funny.
It is a dinosaur noise as the truck's going over the cliff.
So what was that, to insinuate it was alive?
Like a beast is dying kind of thing? Probably.
Yeah.
Fucking Spielberg.
Yeah. Still, it's really, really, really affect a movie that, hey, that could happen to me on the way home.
Extremely.
That's what's gnarly about it.
Extremely intense, great stunt work, stunt driving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think also, too, like in the 70s, 80s, they just didn't fucking care.
No, they didn't.
Nope.
And
it was like, let's just get the shot. Who cares if people die?
Well, look, like Any Which Way But Loose and Smokey and the Bandit and like all these insane. Yeah. It was, man, that was, in the 70s, it was all about crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even you, I don't know if you sent it to me or vice versa, of that shot from 007 where they're running across the alligators.
Oh, yeah.
The live, like, crocodiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were live crocodiles.
And he's using them like stepping stones.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, why not? Why wouldn't you just pitfall that shit and use,
Yeah.
No, he was really running across fucking alligators.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what? Hey, kudos to him. Tom Cruise is doing that today.
Oh, he's a maniac.
Yeah.
The guy's out of his mind.
Scientology does work.
He's unkillable. But no, you think about it, like you said, they didn't give a fuck.
No,
this is
they didn't.
a diesel truck.
Yeah.
And it is whipping around like cliffside curves and, hitting like 70, 80 miles an hour with all this rusted metal and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an impressive movie, top to bottom.
It's almost like a genius made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Spielberg kid, I feel like he was going to go places.
He's going places.
All right, Brad.
Okay. It's crazy we haven't crossed.
I'm very surprised.
That's fucking weird.
I'm very surprised.
Yeah, because we're getting down to it. Because I have two left. So, this one I've seen twice. I saw once on a repeat, and then when I found it on DVD.
Okay.
Gargoyles.
Oh, good
yeah.
choice.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gargoyles
It's a good
is cool.
one.
Yeah, that shit scared the hell out of
Yeah.
me. Those things that was Stan Winston.
Yes.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yep,
That
yep.
shit is, those things are so fucking terrifying because it is like when you're doing a road trip,
Yeah.
and I always think about them.
And they all look different.
They all do
and all
look
the designs
different.
were so rad.
Yeah, and they're fucking, they're terrifying. I mean, even how it starts, like they're shown the skeleton of the one,
Right.
in the like kind of like a sideshow, place, and then
Really? Okay,
and it's
okay.
this big, massive skeleton.
It's been a while since I've seen it. They have a wounded one, or they find one of the babies.
Yes, there's a smaller one that they have.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but then one of them actually, at the beginning when they're in there, like starts hitting the building,
Right.
and then the rafter falls, kills the guy, and then that's when they find him in that cavern, and they just keep coming back and just fucking people up in that town. Like,
You're right.
and they're terrifying.
Yeah,
These are really scary looking.
Here's the thing, though. Now I saw that for the first time on a Sunday afternoon when I was a kid. It didn't scare me because all I thought were, these things look fucking awesome. I want action figures.
Oh yeah,
You know, yeah.
yeah. Have they ever done action figures
No.
with them?
No,
That's
no.
crazy.
But no, that movie. I need to see it again. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But it's great. It was out of print for a really long time. The DVD was super expensive.
Yes.
But now it's back. It's available again.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, really, really cool movie.
Super fun.
Wicked
great monster
contact
movie.
lenses and everything.
Oh no,
Yeah,
everything.
this is-
The whole creature design is fucking nuts.
And Jace, while you're there, look it up. Because I want to say it was Stan Winston's first thing he did.
I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Oh,
it
wow.
was. Yeah.
Okay. Gargoyles, number 1.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Followed by an uncredited makeup effects artist on Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Wow.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Wow, crazy.
Saw that in the theater when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some very cool.
No, that was just really fun. I highly suggest if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That's a must watch.
Okay.
Because it doesn't feel like a made for TV movie.
Oh no, it's very cinematic.
It is. Yeah, it's cool. Because they shot like in New Mexico,
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah, because it's small. Because the setting looks like the hills have eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those, like, it's got a lot of dread and fear
Yeah.
Sure.
from the people that are like waiting for them. You know what I mean? Like,
But all the monsters, they all look different, and the female one's really, really cool looking.
yeah.
But I want to say, once again, it's like I haven't seen it in a minute. You have. I want to say it's not necessarily that they're evil. They're just like they get the kid,
Yes.
and they get the
They
young
want
gargoyle,
back.
and they're just like, we want our kid back.
They want our kid back.
You know,
They want our kid back. Absolutely. It's a territorial thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they do go to their caverns where they're held up.
Yeah.
And they mess with it.
Yep.
And they mess with a fight that they couldn't win.
Fucking people, man.
Exactly. Don't fuck with the gargoyle.
Goddamn human race.
So yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay, sweet.
Gargoyles.
All right.
Okay.
Last call.
So, I mean, not only was my number 1 made for TV movie, it's got to be in my top 10 for just horror movies. And once again, this is the one, it originally aired on the ABC Sunday Night Movie, but I saw it on a weekday afternoon. Me and my brother watched when we came from school. It was remade in 2010 by Guillermo del Toro, and even though I love him, I hated it. And that would be 1973's Don't Be Afraid of the Dark with Kim Darby. And
Oh, wow.
it scared the living bejesus. Okay, when I saw this movie, so what's about Kim Darby, the mom from Better Off Dead.
Yes.
She, her and her husband, no kids, they move into this new house in the suburbs, and they have this handyman who is the uncle on My Three Sons. And Kim Darby, she's like looking around the house. She's a housewife. Husband's always gone. He goes on business trips all the time. She finds his fireplace has been bricked up. And she tells the handyman, she's like, hey, I want these bricks removed. You know, it's like, we want to use this fireplace. And he's coming up with excuses not to open it up. And she insists. So he opens it up, and he's aware of this, that these little like goblins live inside of it. And once he opens the fireplace, they're freed, and they spend the rest of the movie terrorizing Kim Darby. And of course, she tells people, nobody believes her. The atmosphere is great. It's really freaking creepy. These monsters, they kind of look like the original gremlin from Terror at 20,000 Feet from the Twilight Zone.
Oh, wow.
But they're little. They're like 8 inches tall, but they're afraid of the light. The light hurts them.
Okay.
So, but the one scene that I've seen this a million times, the one scene that always sticks out in my head is she's in the shower and she's got the lights on, and they get a coat hanger and they wrap the coat hanger around the corner and hook it and hook the light switch and like turn the light off and come in and try to get her. And then the end of the movie, they finally do get her and she becomes one of them.
Oh, wow.
And when I first saw this movie, it scared me so bad. It drove my dad crazy because every night for a week, nope, I'm sleeping with you.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
and real quick, I'll go ahead and include this story too.
Please.
So me and my brother are watching it, and it's afternoon. We got home from school, and keep in mind, I'm like 7 years old, and this memory is stuck in my head. We had this Siamese cat named Cindy, and we're sitting here watching this movie, and in the middle of the movie, she runs out into the living room and sprays diarrhea everywhere.
Oh.
And we don't know why she got sick, but we're just watching the movie, and Siamese cat comes tearing through the hallway into the living room, diarrhea everywhere.
Where's my box? Where's my box? Where's my box? Ah!
And my brother had to clean it up. So that took me out of the moment, but
Sure.
but I have this movie on Blu-ray, and this was a movie that when I first discovered video stores, where is it? Because when I saw it once on network TV, never saw it again. And the second I discovered video stores, I went looking for. I found it. I wish I had the big box VHS.
Oh man.
But yeah, watched it. I had the DVD. I have the Blu-ray now. And I've probably seen this movie 100 times. I love it. It's great. And the thing is, I see what Del Toro was doing, his version. Have you guys seen his version?
No.
It's like more gothic.
Okay.
It looks cool. I mean, it's got like $100 billion behind it.
Sure.
The monsters, of course, I think it's a mix of CGI and practical, but it's just not the same. It doesn't. The fact that the original is like in the suburbs and it's so low budget, and it's just like it just doesn't have the feel. His is more like, oh, this is like a fantasy with some scares in it, you know. But
which is on brand.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Which I'm sure there's people that like it. It's not that it's an awful movie, but it's just. But the irony is, he loves the original. It's one of his favorites.
Okay.
And once again, I've said this a million times before. If you love it so much, you don't need to remake it.
Yeah, don't
let
just
it
watch
be.
it.
Yeah,
Just
let
watch it.
That's my number one. But let me throw out one honorable mention because it popped in my head as we were doing this.
Yeah.
Race with the Devil.
Oh
It's
God, yes.
another really great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one of those movies where they didn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah. Once again, insane
sure.
stunts.
Yeah, like there's a scene in the RV where they're being infested by rattlesnakes.
Mm.
And they're all laying around them, and you see them like jumping at the actors.
They're striking at 'em.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But that movie is another one of those relentless, you can't trust anyone movies.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because they witnessed something in the desert.
Yeah, satanic sacrifice.
Yeah, and now like everyone that you think is on their side, they're talking to the cops, they're talking to the townsfolk. Everyone's in on it.
Yeah,
It's all
It's
really,
fucking
really cool.
intense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
and it's Warren Oates, Peter Fonda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loretta Swit.
Yeah.
From MASH. Yeah, it's a fucking great cast. Like it's
Okay.
fun. You know what's funny? The reason why I love it so much is because I actually rewrote it.
Oh wow.
Like, I did,
remember
like-
you telling me that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just kind of like a retrofit for today.
Right,
Like,
right.
you know, yeah, I do love Race with the Devil. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's another, I think, Anchor Bay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Very cool. My final one is Someone's Watching Me, John Carpenter with Lauren Hutton.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it came out the same year as Halloween. So it was like,
Wow.
I think this came out in the summer maybe, and Halloween was in fall, so he hadn't exploded yet. But this was like reverse Rear Window. Lauren Hutton is in a skyrise in New York, I believe, or actually, I think she made it to California. So it might be a San Francisco apartment or something like that. And she got the apartment from someone who we know was harassed out of it by an unseen killer. Now she's the object of their affection, whoever it is. And there's like a billion windows from her skyscraper. And it's like, where the fuck is he? Because he sees her every move. Somehow he got into her apartment and bugged so he can hear everything she says and does. But it's Rear Window from the opposite side. You're being watched and you have no idea who it is. It starts to become more threatening. The tension keeps mounting. And it's just, it's a fantastic fucking movie. It's a great,
Someone's watching me?
yeah, Someone's Watching Me, and it's very Hitchcockian. All the usual Carpenter stuff is in place. You could feel it's a Carpenter movie, right down to Adrienne Barbeau being in it as, I believe, one of the first lesbians on television.
Really?
Yeah. So she's like, I think Lauren Hutton came into work like the panel for a news station, and Adrienne Barbeau is like the old hand at it and training her.
Yeah.
And they get to be fast friends. Eventually, like I said, it's like Rear Window where she and Adrienne and I think whatever guy who's kind of interested in her, they're all working together to try to figure out who the fuck is watching and, try to prevent her from being the next victim. Lauren Hutton is hilarious in it. She's one of those kind of sassy smartass kind of deals where he'll call and he'll, like the creepy breathing. And
Right.
some of her quips back are fucking hilarious. She takes it in stride for a while until it starts not being so funny.
Uh-huh.
It's suspenseful clear to the end. And the killer, who I won't reveal, is wearing a very familiar blue mechanic's
Oh,
shoes.
nice.
Oh, nice.
So that's for the Halloween fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. And
Yeah.
one
What
of
year
my-
was that?
78.
78. Oh,
Yeah, well,
okay.
Scream Factory did the Blu-ray,
Yep.
but that book you have, Brad, is named after this.
Oh.
Yeah, Are You in the
yeah,
House Alone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah,
alone in the house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The author of that book does commentary on the Blu-ray.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh,
Okay.
very cool. That's what it is. Okay, so yeah.
You know
Scream
what?
Factory, I need to see that.
Are You Alone in the House? I'll use that as my runner-up.
Yeah.
Okay,
that-
there you go.
That is a great movie. What's that movie? You and I talk about it all the time, and we never know the name of it, but it's that sword and sorcery type movie where the three-pronged sword.
Yeah.
That's Sword and the Sorcerer. Yep. The
Yeah.
Trivorp.
The Trivorp. The princess from that movie. She's brutally harassed and raped eventually by a very young Dennis Quaid. And it goes from kind of a when a stranger calls, suspense, who's on the other side of the phone kind of deal, to I know who raped me, but his family's so rich. What can I do about it?
Jeez.
Because even the police and the lawyers are like, oh, you're never going to win. You're not going to win this case. So it turns into kind of a social commentary, but that's another one out by Scream Factory. It was a DVD called TV Terrors. And I forget what the dual feature was. I think it was like maybe the initiation of.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah, the snare is great. Yeah.
But I watched that one for the first time just last year. It was kind of
Yeah, wow, I've never heard of it.
kind of topical and definitely a skeevy role for Mr. Quaid for sure.
Yeah. Crazy.
Because he knows what he is, and what are you going to do about
Right.
it?
Jeez.
It gets ugly. Good shit though.
I'm like, I want all your lists so I can get all the stuff
That's
I don't
what's
have. And I
funny.
want to
Yeah,
watch it.
I mean,
there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about.
I was going to say, unless your last one, but that was 15 non-overlapping movies.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you this isn't because this is like, it's a Stephen King,
Okay.
but it was 90s.
Okay.
It was The Stand.
Oh yeah.
Another
one.
one with
I love Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, that was so
monumental
good.
cast.
It really was.
Rob Lowe. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. And again, it was I watched because it was four.
Yeah, that one was a long
four-part
one.
miniseries. It was like 6 hours long.
But I mean, the book is like a fucking dictionary.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, I actually rewatched it during the pandemic because I was like, you know what, this is fucking fitting.
It's very fun.
Who played Randall Flagg in it? He did a really good job.
I forget the guy's name. I can picture him clear as day.
I can
Let me bring
too.
it up here real quick.
I can too.
Oh wait, that's because they remade it.
They did remake
They
it.
did oh yeah, Gary Sinise was in the original too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jamie Sheridan. Okay. What do we know Jamie Sheridan from? A bunch of movies I never heard of? Yeah. A bunch of stuff. He was in the Arrow TV series.
Oh, wow.
A movie called Sully. Oh yeah, Sully the movie. Okay.
Is that the plain one?
Yeah.
Okay. He's more or less kind
Yeah,
of
NCIS, but yeah,
of a
he was
character actor.
He
So-
was really good Randall Flagg. Yeah.
Maybe really only best known as
Yeah.
Flag.
maybe.
Because he was great in the role.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
everybody-
It's a
lots
very
of people-
imposing role.
It really
Trash can man. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Oh my
good,
god,
yeah.
that shit was great. Yeah, I loved it. That's why I like going to the plaza.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
they
really?
filmed at the plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a really fun show.
Yeah.
That was a fun movie.
No, I enjoyed that one. What's her name? Laura San
Giacomo.
Giacomo. She
Yeah.
was great in it. Corinne Nemec, we talked about
Yep,
Lewis
yep.
a few days ago. No, that's a stellar flick.
Yeah, it's
I
a big cast.
believe
Big
that's
cast.
Mick Garris.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. With Joe Bob Briggs, I believe, as as sheriff
Oh yeah, that's right.
something.
You're
That's just one where you could play spot the cameo if you want.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
forgot.
it's massive.
Yeah.
Miguel Ferrer was in it. Ray Walston was in it. Shawnee Smith. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yep. Tom Holland.
Yeah. Tom Holland was in it. Stephen King was in it.
Yep.
Yep.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great movie.
It
Great
is.
movie. Man, I can't believe 15 movies we didn't.
That's fucking crazy.
And the thing was, I was like, I'm going to intentionally not do Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we already kind of figured.
I'm
where
like,
that was
somebody's going to
end
have it for sure.
up. Yeah.
Do you have an honorable mention then?
Well, no, you know what? Honestly, I didn't. But I mean, I'm going to steal yours because I love Race with the Devil
Yeah.
a
It's
lot.
really good. Yeah.
On the Stephen King tip, did either of you ever watch Storm of the Century?
Nope.
No,
Terrifying.
really?
Excellent one. A great moral conundrum.
Okay.
Basically, It takes place in Maine, of course, and a huge squall comes in and basically freezes everyone into the church. I believe everyone goes there because power goes out. Very 30 Days of Night, but this stranger walks into town and he knows everybody, basically the devil. And he says, if you give me what I want, I will leave. Because otherwise he's just tormenting people. He's fucking with their brains and, you know, and what it comes down to is one of the people in the film, he wants their kid.
Huh.
And now it becomes, in a sense, like The Mist, where you've got the side that's like, fuck it, it's not my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the side who's like, I'm not giving away my kid. There's the connection to Wings, the TV show Wings.
Okay.
Because Steven Weber did the Shining
Right.
miniseries. The brother from Wings, Tim Daly, I believe.
Okay.
He's the dad. I think he's the sheriff of the town. His wife is Deborah Fiorentino from Cellar Dweller.
Okay.
And it's their kid that he wants. It becomes this thing where we're all snowed in, everyone's getting cabin fever, and there's a whole swath of people now that are like, it's not my fucking kid.
Wow.
Right.
And it becomes very intense, very dark.
Yeah.
And I believe, with the exception of Creepshow, it's the only Stephen King script he wrote specifically as a movie that wasn't based on a book. I think he wrote the book subsequently, but he...
Was the Sleepwalkers him, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that wasn't based on anything either, was it?
No, that wasn't.
Okay, then that
Yeah.
would be the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
Because he doesn't... Most of them are based on his works.
Right.
Right.
It's very rare you get an original Stephen
Right.
King. But out of all of his miniseries, that's the only one that was written to be a miniseries, I believe.
Huh.
It's stellar. I watched it a couple winters ago because it was just, hey, you know, we got
Here we
snow
are.
piled up, and I believe it's a 3-parter, so it's a 6-hour,
Okay.
you know, but it's intense and it never lets up.
Yeah, I always knew of it. I didn't know what it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Because Storm of the
Very
Century is very misleading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to watch them just fight a storm.
No.
It's like, no, thanks.
Yeah, because you think it's just natural disaster kind of
Right.
thing.
But
No.
now that sounds fucking
Yeah.
insane.
Everyone's trapped, and you have this guy who's like, I could just stay here and torment you, or you can give me a child.
Wow.
And it's dark,
Yeah.
very dark, and it goes a few places that I did not expect it to go.
Yeah.
So
Crazy. Hell yeah.
good shit.
That was fun.
It was.
It was. And man, I'm impressed with us.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. 15 movies and not one of them overlapped?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at least three runner-ups. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, two, I stole one.
Sure, but still, that wasn't, you know.
And one cat with diarrhea. Story.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I think.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, the cat. I have a feeling the title of the show is going to stem from that.
R.I.P. Cindy the Siamese cat.
Yeah.
hell yeah, that was
That
fun.
was awesome. Thanks
Yeah,
for
we'll
having
do
me,
it
guys.
again.
That's
Definitely.
tons of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Until next time.
See you guys.
Bye.